Hello, this is Laura again. Today I'm coming to you to tell you a little bit about my new focus of my company, which is powered by emotions. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I chose that to be the focus. So, as I do RTT and work with people, one of the things that I find that is the biggest question that people have is, how do I feel my emotions? I really don't know how. And I think that's fascinating because we are born with emotions. We're born knowing how to feel our emotions, but we forget. And we also get it trained out of us. If you think about a baby communicates completely with emotions. They cry. You can tell when they're mad. Everything about them is emotional. And little children are the same way. They run, they have temper tantrums, they cry, they scream. They're really emotional beings. And what happens is as we grow older, we get that sort of, I don't know, like beat out of us. Not beat out of us, but trained out of us, I think would say. We are really encouraged to become more solid, less emotional. And of course, we don't want to run around like a baby or a toddler with our emotions, but we just become more and more robot like as we grow. And this is a shame because that's not what being a human being is. Being a human being is being an emotional person. And we need to relearn how to feel our emotions because that is a really important part of who we are. And when we do this, that really helps us in healing. And so when you're doing RTT, and let's say you're doing it for relationships, having better relationships, well, one of the reasons why relationships suffer so much is that we censor ourselves, we censor our emotions, we don't share them, we don't have a safe space that we can express who we are when we're angry, when we're sad, when we're frustrated. We don't have a safe space to feel guilty and to realize how guilty we feel. And so these things just torment us. And these are all just emotions. They really don't have anything to do with how we really feel or who we really are as humans. They're just tools or parts of who we are that need to be expressed. And when we repress them or suppress them within us, then they cause things like depression. Then they cause things like anxiety. Then they cause things like disease, dis-ease in the body, health challenges. And it is only by realizing how we felt during circumstances in our lives, especially when we were younger, that are stuck inside of us and are still in there festering away. I like to think of emotions as like wounds inside of us that we aren't even aware are there. But as we uncover those wounds, we can take them and clean them off and dry them and let them air out. And then they naturally heal. So it doesn't take a lot. It can be very uncomfortable to feel emotions, and that's why we don't, because we have learned that it's very uncomfortable. We've learned that it's weak. We've learned that it's not desired, it's not acceptable. You can even hear it in the language. It's like people will say, don't cry when somebody starts to cry, or don't get angry, or they'll tiptoe around other people to make sure that they don't trigger them and things like that. And we're really doing a disservice to ourselves and each other when we do that because we're clamping down on what really makes us feel good. And when we can start to embrace and feel our negative emotions, it also allows us to feel more positive emotions. Because if we're not feeling our positive emotion, our negative emotions, we are really not feeling positive. So that can be another reason why people think, what's missing in my life? Something's missing. I thought this was going to make me happy and I got it and it doesn't. I thought this was going to be make me happy and it doesn't. Or is this all there is? Because we're living in such a neutral state, such an unemotional state. And as we tap back into our emotions, we learn to feel them, we let them go, and we start to live our lives from that place. We rise into a higher vibrational space of being human, and we can really connect with other parts of our lives that we probably didn't even know were there. So that is really why I am going to be focused on emotions, powered by emotions, because I really know that this is a missing link for us in our mental health and our physical health and just living the lives that we want. And I'm very passionate in my own life about being as emotional as I can because I know it makes me more authentic. It's great to have this perfect outlook on life or, to pretend to be perfect, but none of us are perfect. All of us have so much going on, and I'm amazed at how many things that people have going on behind the scenes, but we hide it because we think it's going to be judged and it's going to be rejected and those kinds of things. But it's time for us to embrace our authenticity and to be our real selves. And that is the best thing we could do for ourselves and for the world and for our families and our children. And so that's going to be my focus. And I'm going to continue on with YouTube videos to just start to give you more ideas. Please reach out if you have any questions or um, if you want to know more about my one on one sessions or RTT. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. But my focus right now is just really helping people to understand what emotion is and how to express it in your life, how to come home to our emotions that have been there the whole time, but we just have learned to turn off. We really have learned to turn them off for the most part. Women can cry a lot and they feel comfortable crying, but anger a lot of times is a emotion that women have a really hard time with. And it's sort of the opposite for men. They feel more comfortable being angry or being frustrated, but crying has always been something that men have been um, judged for and encouraged not to do. So we need to bring these things back into balance so we can be our authentic selves and show up in the world and start to create a world that we really want instead of one that's so closed down that where we're just holding everything about who we are in and we're afraid to be authentic. So thank you for your attention and I will see you next time.